Enemies you can't talk to so easily. I'd make our allies pay their fair share. We're a debtor nation. Something's going to happen over the next number of years with this country, because you can't keep going on losing $200 billion, and yet we let Japan come in and dump everything right into our markets and everything. It's not free trade. If you ever go to Japan right now and try to sell something, forget about it, Oprah. Just forget about it. It's almost impossible. They don't have laws against it. They just make it impossible. They come over here, they sell their cars, their VCRs, they knock the hell out of our companies. And hey, I have tremendous respect for the Japanese people. I mean, you can respect somebody that's beating the hell out of you, but they are beating the hell out of this country. Kuwait, they live like kings. The poorest person in Kuwait, they live like kings. And yet they're not paying. We make it possible for them to sell their oil. Why aren't they paying us 25% of what they're making? It's a joke.
This sounds like political presidential talk to me. And I know people have talked to you about whether or not you want to run. Would you ever?
Probably not. But I do get tired of seeing the country ripped off.
Why would you not?
I just don't think I really have the inclination to do it. I love what I'm doing. I really like it.
Also, it doesn't pay as well.
No, it doesn't. But, you know, I just probably wouldn't do it, Oprah. I probably wouldn't, but I do get tired of seeing what's happening with this country. And if it got so bad, I would never want to rule it out totally, because I really am tired of seeing what's happening with this country, how we're really making other people live like kings, and we're not.
What do you think of this year's presidential race, the way it's shaping up?
Well, it's going to be very interesting. I think that probably George Bush has an advantage in terms of the election. I think that probably people would say that he's got like that little edge in terms of the incumbency, et cetera, et cetera. But I think Jesse Jackson's done himself very proud. I think Michael Dukakis has done one hell of a job. And George Bush has done a hell of a job. You know, they all went in there sort of as semi-underdogs, including George Bush, and they've all come out. I think people that are around all three of those candidates can be very proud of the jobs they've done.
You've said, though, that if you did run for president, you believe you'd win.
Well, I don't know. I think I'd win. I tell you what, I wouldn't go in to lose. I've never gone in to lose in my life. And if I did decide to do it, I think I'd be inclined. I would say that I would have a hell of a chance of winning, because I think people, I don't know how your audience feels, but I think people are tired of seeing the United States ripped off. And I can't promise you everything, but I can tell you one thing. This country would make one hell of a lot of money from those people that for 25 years have taken advantage. It wouldn't be the way it's been, believe me.
And this was in 1988.
Man, listen, I have to say this, though, man. I love that Trump. I really do, because you can. There's a sincerity about that dude. And look, first thing I want to say is this. I mean, I want to apologize to Trump for saying this. I felt like he had no policies. I felt like he had no ideas, that he was just running to line his pocket, which I think is true, that he's running to get something out of it. But he carried that all the way to now. And so that's something that he strongly believes in. And so my hat's off to him for having that train of thought and bringing it into the day. It just shows you that he kept that mindset. He didn't do it for flair or fashion. He said what he said. And hey, man, and when I tell people that I love Trump, you know, that there are things that I love about Trump, this is what I'm talking about. I mean, you see, he gave Jesse Jackson his props. I hated Jesse Jackson. I thought Jesse Jackson was a plight pimp, but Trump saw some good in him. He saw some good in a lot of black politicians. He gave money and to their campaigns and stuff. So this is why I have this kind of strange dichotomy with how I feel about him right now, because I see the people that he's bringing in, and these people don't mean black people any good, you know. But Trump as a person, as an individual, when people started yelling about him being racist, I understand that he brought some racist stuff from his childhood, because their father was a strange man. He had them kind of competing against one another in just one of those ways where you wouldn't want to see a father do that to a family, you know. And his son, the oldest son, who the father was trying to prop up, just couldn't keep up with the father's demands, became an alcoholic and killed himself because he couldn't keep up with the demands. And Donald here, he tried his best, and he tried his best to keep up with his father's demands, but still, appeared to be a decent guy. That's the reason why I tell people I don't believe he's one of these cold-blooded, hardcore racists, because I see that Trump. I see many interviews with that Trump right there. And I tell you, man, my hat's off to him. He had his idea then. I don't know if these tariffs are going to work. That's when the jury is out. you know, so we have to wait and see if that thing's going to work or not. But I tell you, man, you couldn't help but love that interview with that dude, man. You see him, he's eloquent, you know, he's saying what he's saying. There's just no fluff and no fault in it. He's going straight ahead. So yeah, I buy it. I buy that that's what he feels. And I buy that he actually believes that something's going to come out of this for the American people. Whether it does or not, man, is beyond me.